The Galactic Council had warned Captain Rhea Solon that what she was attempting was suicide. No human had ever successfully raised a Varkathi cub, let alone 5 of them. The Varkathi were apex predators from the death world of Kresh Prime, standing 9 feet tall with obsidian scales, razor-sharp claws, and a hunting instinct so refined that entire civilizations had fallen to their raids. They were feared across 100 star systems, and for good reason. But Rhea Solon had never been particularly good at following warnings. She found them in the ruins of a Varkathi raiding ship, wreckage scattered across the dead moon of Tertian 7. The adult raiders had killed each other in some internal dispute, leaving 5 cubs huddled in the cargo hold, mewling and starving. The Council's protocol was clear. Terminate all Varkathi on sight. They were too dangerous, too unpredictable, too alien in their thinking. Rhea had looked into those amber eyes, fierce even in infancy, and made a different choice. That was 12 years ago. Now, Cathor stood beside her on the command deck of the Relentless Dawn, his massive frame casting a shadow across the tactical display. He was the eldest, the one who had nearly killed her twice in those early years before something shifted in his predator brain, the one who had learned to trust. Captain, Cathor's voice rumbled like distant thunder, his translator implant rendering his clicks and growls into something approximating human speech. 3 Crin battlecruisers have entered the sector. They are demanding our surrender. Rhea didn't look up from the star chart. Tell them we're busy. A sound that might have been laughter emerged from Cathor's throat, a terrifying chittering noise that still made the human crew members flinch. As you command. The Crin Dominion had been the scourge of this sector for 2 decades, enslaving colonies and harvesting worlds. They had adamantium battle armor, plasma weapons that could slag a frigate in seconds, and numerical superiority that made conventional warfare pointless. The Council had tried negotiations, sanctions, and finally a disastrous military campaign that left thousands dead. Then they had sent Rhea Solon. She remembered those early days with the cubs, the countless scars, the sleepless nights, the moment she realized that Varkathi didn't respond to punishment or dominance. They responded to respect, to challenge, to pack loyalty earned through blood and survival. She had hunted with them on their terms, fought beside them when station pirates thought a woman and 5 half-grown predators would be easy prey. She had bled with them, and eventually, they had accepted her as their own. Cathor, Rhea said quietly, her eyes still on the display showing the Crin fleet's formation. Remember what I taught you about human warfare? That humans do not hunt alone, Cathor replied immediately. That humans turn weakness into strength. That humans are the only species that domesticate their predators. Rhea smiled, a cold, calculating expression that would have alarmed the Council diplomats who thought her a reckless maverick. Not quite domesticate, but close enough, the comm crackled. Human vessel, you have 30 seconds to power down your weapons and prepare for boarding. Resist and you will be atomized. Rhea tapped her command console. Throughout the Relentless Dawn, compartment doors hissed open. In the shadows of the lower decks, amber eyes gleamed. Cathor signaled the pack. Show them what we've learned. What followed would be discussed in tactical academies for generations. The Crin made their first mistake when they boarded. They expected human resistance, perhaps some small arms fire, maybe explosive traps. What they got was Cathor and his pack materializing from access shafts and maintenance corridors like living nightmares. Varkathi hunted in coordinated swarms, using echolocation and thermal sensing that made human technology look primitive. But Rhea had taught them more than hunting. She had taught them strategy. While the Crin focused on the boarding party in Sector C, Cathor led 2 of his siblings through the umbilical connection directly into the lead cruiser. The Crin discovered too late that Varkathi claws could tear through bulkheads like foil, that their scales deflected plasma fire, and that 12 years of training with a human had taught them things no natural predator should know, like sabotage, like engine core overloads, like fear. The lead cruiser's reactor went critical 17 minutes after boarding began. The second cruiser tried to flee and found its navigation systems corrupted by a virus, uploaded by a Varkathi whose human-taught understanding of computer systems was rudimentary, but effective. The third cruiser attempted a suicide run at the Relentless Dawn and discovered that Cathor had already planted demolition charges in its weapons array. 3 Crin battlecruisers. 47 minutes. 0 human casualties. Later, As medics treated the few injured crew members and engineers assessed the minimal damage, Rhea found Kythor in the observation deck. He was staring at the debris field, his claws flexing rhythmically. A Varkathi gesture she'd learned meant contemplation. "The Council will not understand," Kythor said without preamble. "They will fear what we have become." Rhea moved to stand beside him, this human woman barely reaching the chest of the towering predator who could have killed her with a casual swipe. "Probably. They fear everything they can't control. You did not control us. No, I raised you. There's a difference." Kythor's head tilted, those amber eyes studying her with an intelligence that still surprised human observers. The others wished to know why. "Why did you not terminate us as protocol demanded? Why risk everything?" Rhea was quiet for a long moment, watching stars glitter in the endless dark. "Because I looked at 5 terrified cubs and saw what everyone else refused to see. Not monsters, not weapons, just children who needed someone to give a damn. And now we are weapons," Kythor observed. "Now you're survivors," Rhea corrected. "Now you're a pack. Now you're the reason 3 cruisers full of slavers won't terrorize another colony." She glanced up at him. "That's not being a weapon. That's being family." Something shifted in Kythor's posture, a subtle relaxation, a lowering of the intimidating crest that ran along his spine. In the Varkathi language of gesture and stance, it meant acceptance. It meant home. "The human concept of family is strange," Kythor said, but when he looked at her, there was something in those predator eyes that transcended species. "But I understand now why you are called captain. You hunt not for dominance but for protection. You lead not through fear but through purpose." "And you followed," Rhea said simply. "We swore loyalty," Kythor corrected, his voice carrying a weight that made it more than mere words. "Pack loyalty, blood loyalty, the kind that does not break." Across the ship, the other 4 of his siblings moved through corridors with crew members who no longer flinched at their presence. The human crew who had learned, as Rhea had, that the deadliest predators in known space could choose to protect instead of destroy. The Galactic Council would file reports. They would debate and question and probably try to regulate what Rhea Solon had accomplished. But none of that mattered, because somewhere in the vast darkness of space, a human captain and the predators she'd raised were proving that family wasn't defined by species. It was defined by choice, and the choice to stand together, human and Varkathi, protector and hunter, captain and pack, was stronger than any weapon the galaxy could forge.